Hello, everybody. My name is Kelly Frame, and I'm the Memory Care Coordinator here at Charter Senior Living at Oak Openings. I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. I did. A little different this year, but it was a nice holiday, and so I hope you all had one as well. So usually I like to kind of do these talks off the cuff and just talk to you heart to heart. I have a lot of information here, so I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to read a lot of this. I wrote it out just how I wanted it, and I just need kind of a little bit of a guide to keep my thoughts together. So I hope you don't mind. So the holidays can leave us kind of frazzled. You kind of come out of the holidays like it's a whirlwind, feeling like, oh my, what was that? And there's a few things that can stress you out, to name a few, and one of them is work. Now, you might work, this can be any kind of work, it can be any job you do. But, if you're working in healthcare right now, there's a lot of protocols, regulations, and things that just can bring a lot of stress. Another thing that can cause a lot of stress for people is you may have a loved one right now that is experiencing some changes, and you're not sure what's going on. They're not sure what's going on, and it's causing a lot of anxiety, and you're not sure how to handle it. Another thing that can happen is it can be very stressful for people who have loved ones in facilities right now. Like, here at Charter, families can feel very frustrated with not being able to, come into the facility and see their loved ones. And that can be very overwhelming. And, a lot of stress, it just takes its toll on us. And it can be kind of daunting when you have that much on your plate. And, if you're working, anxieties are high. And the problem is that you're not the only one with high anxieties. So everybody's got high anxieties and everybody's kind of bouncing off each other. Even if you don't want it to be that way, it happens. And if you're currently working in healthcare, there is a lot of information that we're processing right now. Obviously there's, COVID-19 and there's symptoms, but there's also vaccine information and, is everyone safe? Are we keeping everybody healthy? And every day there is pressure there and a desire to just keep all of us safe. And even though that's a good thing, that can produce a lot of anxiety and frustration for everybody just because, any kind of stress, even good stress can be hard on our bodies and hard on our minds. Now, if you're taking care of a loved one at home, they might be experiencing early to mid-stage dementia, and you might be sitting there saying, I am not sure what decision to make. You can be having guilt because you said that you would never even entertain the idea of putting your loved one in a facility, and you're not sure what that would do to your relationship. Or maybe you feel like you are willing to talk about that, but you have family members who are not on the same page as you. Family discussions can get heated. There can be disagreements and arguments, and it's like, well, my brother and my sister are not on the same page with me, and I don't know how to talk to them. And every time I try to talk to them, there is an argument, and you just want to kind of like, close that box and shut that door and say, never mind. I don't want to do that. So you might be feeling alone, and then you got the stress of your loved one and you want to help them and you're just not sure what that means. And then finally, like I said, if you have a loved one here at like Oak Openings, or if you have a loved one at another facility, you may be feeling helpless. It's like, how can I let mom or dad know that I still care and that I haven't forgotten them, and how can I make them feel loved, and are they receiving the care that they need? Are they happy? Do they know I would be there if I could? You know, I get it. I really do. I understand how that must feel. I've had family, in similar situations, and it's tough. It is hard. And, it's okay to feel that way, because anybody, I think, would feel that way. Anybody going through this does feel that way. And, so you've got all this going on, and then you've got just everyday life, right? It's like, I got this to do and this to accomplish, and I got projects due and families around, and I still gotta, eat and sleep somewhere. Does that even happen anymore? Like, what's sleep, And, this is the makings for mental stress and anxiety, and it can cause depression. It can cause anger. You can kind of like feel like snappy and kind of just like, losing your cool all the time. You can have sadness and depression. You can even maybe not even be sure what's bothering you. You're just like, I don't know, I feel sad. I feel depressed. Or you just feel blah, or you're struggling with guilt and negative emotions, and everything just seems like kind of caving in on you. These feelings are real, and they're painful, and they're anything but what we're wanting. And that's what we're wanting, is we're wanting some peace. We're wanting some joy. And, the actual definition of a caregiver, I looked up this definition, and I liked it because I thought it kind of fit everybody. It said, a person who gives care to someone who needs help taking care of themselves. Now, a lot of times when we think of caregiving, we think of residents or family or children, but that can be community, that can be you. And, taking care of you is probably the number one most difficult caregiving job. But when we are caregiving us, ourselves and everyone else, it just can be overwhelming on our hearts and take its toll over time. So now that's how we feel. Now, what do we do about it, right? Well, we just got through with Christmas, and we just got through with that song, Silent Night, Holy Night, all is calm, all is bright. And, in that song, it's telling the story of Jesus's birth and how it was a calm, reverent, peaceful night, and yet something great came from that peace and came from that silence. And, you don't realize the power in silent nights. And you might say, okay, well, Kelly, how do we have silent nights? I don't feel like silent at all. So the first thing we want to do is give yourself time to not do anything. And I can hear, the organized, well thought out planners going, I can't do that. I have those days. I'm like, no. But what that mainly means is for your brain. If you put someone on a treadmill nonstop, is a treadmill good? Yes, it's healthy, it's good for you. But if you put someone on a treadmill nonstop and just kept running that treadmill, they're going to collapse eventually. You can't keep up the momentum. You may be able to do it for a short time. You may be even able to do it for a long time, but no one can keep that up long term. And you're doing that, and I'm doing that to our brains and our bodies all the time. Eventually, you're going to hit a wall. So what we have to do is we have to take a step back, and we have to catch our breath. You have to allow yourself to heal from the demands on your life. You have to be able to step back and say, you know what? I'm not going to think about anything. I'm going to sit here. And that can mean different things for different people. That can mean just sitting and quieting your spirit and quieting your mind. You can pray, meditate, sing, listen to music. You can drink, get a great cup of cocoa. There's some awesome hot chocolate out there, I'm just saying. And, force the brain to focus on the instruments and the music. And people might think that's ridiculous, but it works. It calms your mind. You know, if I tell you to think about something and then think about something else and think about something else, you can't. The brain, I mean, you might be able to kind of, but the problem is the brain can only really process so much at once. So if we force the brain to focus on something other than the stress and the anxiety, it works. It's not a long-term cure for everything that we're going through. It's a cure for you to help you have some peace. So, first of all, take care of you and try the calming, idea. Second one that I want to talk about is if you are dealing with a loved one at home, all of the hustle and bustle of the holidays or the stress that you're feeling and the noise, that internal noise you have, they're going to pick it up. It's almost like, it's the same way with like children. Children pick up when mom and dad are stressed. And I've always been this type of person who can pick up when someone is, feeling anxiety or they're nervous or something. Like, I'm very sensitive to that. And people with dementia are going to pick up on your anxieties and your nervousness, and they're going to be very sensitive to that. So after you've calmed yourself, you need to take a look at the environment around you and say, am I creating an overstimulating environment where, it can be the TV's on, the music on, there's children running around, there's animals running around. And if you do have those family arguments and disagreements, what kind of atmosphere am I creating for someone with dementia? Am I giving them a chance to not be in that stressful environment? Am I giving them a chance at peace? Am I giving myself a chance at peace? So be aware of the environment, and calm your mind first, and then help calm theirs. We have to do the same thing here at Oak Openings. We have to create a fun and peaceful environment. And I'm always telling staff, you know what, take a step back. Regroup if you have to. Be aware of your internal emotions because they're going to leak. And we don't want to leak out and affect someone else if we can help it. Sometimes we can't help it, but we'll do our best to. So we all need to do that sometimes. There's no exception to the rule, yours truly included. Now, sometimes also the holiday season can bring to light how much that loved one needs help. Maybe you knew they needed help, but again, you swore you'd never do that, or that's not a discussion they want to have, or that's a life-altering decision. And so you don't allow yourself to entertain the idea that, hey, I might need some help with this. So just like we said that you need to take a break from thinking, sometimes that can be just as damaging if you're not thinking at all. So sometimes you got to think a little bit. And, sometimes things are not as giant of a leap as we make them out to be in our mind. Sometimes we just need more information. And don't underestimate what more information can do for your peace. It's hard to make decisions if you don't know the facts. So, here at Oak Openings, for example, we have an amazing team of health and wellness staff, resident care administration, memory care, activities, caregiving, dining, housekeeping, maintenance, marketing, all of us, everybody. Our goal here is to answer your questions. That's what we're here for. That's what we do. That's what we love to do. That's why we are in the field we're in. And if you feel like, well, I can't make that decision, well, then don't yet. But don't stay seated making no decision. Move forward. Let's make 2021 about moving forward, because you don't want to go it alone. Find out information, reach out to us. We're here for you. The dementia journey was never meant to go it alone. The healthcare journey was never meant to go it alone, and just life in general was not meant to go it alone. We need each other. And it's how we survive. It's how we have those silent nights and peaceful nights. Now, what about if your loved one is already in a facility? This one's difficult. I see this every single day. The first thing is you have to have some grace on yourself and some acceptance that you are giving your loved one the best care possible right now. Many families bring in presents. They call, they send in photos, they set up Zoom calls, or Skype, or Google Duo, or anything, or they call them on the phone, and that is loving them too. And have some grace. You're doing a good job. You are loving them, and when you are having those discussions with your families, remember they're going to feed off your energy. So, keep it positive. We don't want to bring fear. We want to bring that peace, in that silent nights. Because you know what? We live in scary times. We live in some scary times. And for people with dementia, the reasoning and logic is not there for someone with a healthy brain. So, the world can be very scary and very overwhelming if we present it as such. It's not because it doesn't exist, but we don't want to kind of serve it on a silver platter, So you being positive and you having that mindset is going to help bring them some joy and peace of mind, and that's loving them. And you being there and calling them and trying to reach out to them, that's all loving them. And so have some grace and acceptance that you're doing a good job, and also be encouraged that here, in different facilities, we're doing our best to create a fun atmosphere, keep things positive, keep them engaged. There is no desire or effort being made to just keep people just locked in their rooms with doing nothing. Our goals are to keep them happy, engaged, and positive, and just enjoying every day as much as possible, and receiving good quality care. So our attitudes are hopeful and positive. Now, we were never meant to have the anxieties and worry and fear that we do, not because it doesn't happen, not because it doesn't exist. Obviously, 2020 showed us that there's a lot of challenges right now, but let's not stay in 2020. Let's be optimistic and hopeful that 2021 is going to bring some of those silent nights we needed. It's not going to be problem-free. It's more of a mindset and a belief in our hearts that we can still be at peace and we can still thrive even in the midst of difficulties. So may you experience the peace of God, the joy of family, and the support of friends as this new year rolls in, and be encouraged that we love you here at Charter. We love your families, and we wish you a very happy new year. And as we sang a few days ago, may you have those silent nights, and may all be calm and all be bright. All right, thank you so much, and I appreciate all of you, and I'm here for you if you need anything, and just reach out if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you so much.